With the show, certainly what hospitality has felt like for me is, how do you make people feel comfortable?
First of all, who takes pictures of themselves when they're crying and then posts them online?
What started as a cozy cooking show has exploded into Meghan Markle's latest PR nightmare, allegedly. Megyn Kelly didn't hold back, and her takedown is going viral. Could this be the final straw for the Duchess's Netflix dreams? Stay tuned and subscribe for the full scoop as it unfolds. Just when it seemed like Meghan Markle had carefully crafted her next public chapter, her new Netflix series, With Love, Megyn, turned into something completely unexpected, a headline-grabbing controversy. Instead of winning hearts, it lit a fuse online, and what followed wasn't applause. It was criticism, parodies, and even disbelief. People expected a genuine peek into her world, a slice of normal life, maybe a bit of relatability. But what they got felt like the opposite, a world too perfect, too staged, and strangely disconnected. And when Megyn Kelly chimed in with a sharp critique, everything escalated.
She can't keep a staff in London. She can't keep a staff in Montecito. She's a bully. She's obsessed.
Kelly didn't just offer light commentary. She allegedly dissected the show, questioning its authenticity and calling out what many had quietly noticed. That clip quickly made the rounds, echoing what others had already begun whispering. Something about the show didn't feel right. But what exactly happened? Why did something meant to feel so warm come across so cold? From the very first scene, With Love, Megyn aimed for elegance. Think picture-perfect kitchens, handcrafted snacks, ambient lighting. Everything looked flawless. Megyn moved through her home with ease, preparing fruit platters and pouring drinks like it was second nature. It was meant to feel comforting, even cozy. But instead of pulling viewers in, it pushed many away. The reason? It all felt too perfect, too orchestrated. Critics and fans alike began pointing out how every single detail, down to the cushions and kitchen counter, felt meticulously staged.
No idea, which probably sounds difficult to understand.
And when something feels staged, it no longer feels sincere. Audiences today don't expect chaos, but they do crave honesty. And when even a casual cooking moment feels like it's been rehearsed 10 times, it can break the connection. What started as a heartfelt attempt to share home life suddenly became a lightning rod for skepticism. The most telling moment in the public response? It wasn't a critic's review, it was a parody. Comedians quickly jumped in, mimicking Megyn's soft voice, her slow movements, her overly polished narration. One viral skit captured the tone so perfectly, many people thought it was a clip from the real show. "You look amazing," the spoof began in a deliberately robotic voice. "Let me show you how I slice an organic strawberry, lovingly." Funny, yes, but what made it sting was how close it hit to reality. Even more surprising, the parodies didn't just come from YouTubers. Netflix comedians and personalities, people from the same streaming platform, joined in the satire.
Done with the prove it game. I don't need to prove to you why.
Suddenly, what was meant to feel warm became a running joke online. And jokes have a way of sticking. So let's talk numbers, because they tell a powerful story. On Rotten Tomatoes, the show received a dismal 28%. That's not just low, it's near the bottom of the barrel for any original Netflix production of this scale. The Guardian labeled it gormless filler. The Telegraph gave it 2 stars, calling it an exercise in narcissism. These aren't gossip sites. These are respected critics taking aim at what they felt was a failed attempt at relatability. What's worse is that these reviews weren't just negative, they were unanimous.
So it's been complicated.
Review after review pointed to the same issue. The show's tone felt fake, its storytelling hollow, and its message unclear. Even fans who initially tuned in out of curiosity found themselves drifting. Some said the show felt more like an advertisement than entertainment. So if critics rejected it and audiences weren't staying engaged, who was this really for? Then came the comparisons. Eagle-eyed viewers began spotting similarities between With Love, Megyn, and another lifestyle series, Pamela Anderson's Cooking with Love. The soft tones, the calming narration, even the slogans, too close for comfort, according to some. And that wasn't the only alleged copycat claim. One of Megyn's featured recipes, her signature Ladybug Caprese Bruschetta, was traced back to a food magazine spread from years earlier. DIY crafts shown on screen. Some matched decade-old YouTube tutorials. What was being presented as original suddenly looked borrowed. Online users began calling it Pinterest cosplay, saying the entire aesthetic had been lifted from lifestyle blogs and rebranded with royal flair.
That doesn't make any sense. I'm not in tabloids. I didn't get it.
And in today's hyper-aware internet age, people notice. And once they notice, they talk. A lot. But one of the show's most awkward moments came during a lighthearted chat with guest Mindy Kaling. Kaling casually mentioned eating Jack in the Box, a harmless, fun comment. But Megyn's reply? "I'm Sussex now," she said, gently correcting her. Some viewers laughed, others cringed. It wasn't what she said, it was how she said it. The tone felt formal, almost rehearsed. And instead of feeling like a real conversation between two friends, it sounded like a press clip. That one line turned into a meme, shared across platforms with captions like, "When you remind everyone you've rebranded." What could have been a funny, human moment became another symbol of disconnect. And for a show built on intimacy, that kind of moment hurts the most. Here's the heart of the issue. With Love, Megyn didn't just feel polished, it felt managed. Everything from the music to the casual shots of jam jars looked like it had been approved by a brand team. But real life isn't brand safe. It's unpredictable, messy, a little chaotic. Viewers were promised vulnerability. They got velvet couches and gluten-free snacks. Even the segments with kids getting ready for school felt more like advertisements than family moments.
As we can see what's happening in the online space, we know that there's a lot of work to be
There
done.
were no meltdowns, no messes, just calm, curated perfection. And when perfection becomes the standard, relatability goes out the window. So it's no surprise that even longtime supporters started to pull back. They wanted real. What they got felt like a performance. This isn't just about a failed cooking show, it's about a recurring theme in Megyn's public journey. The challenge of authenticity. From interviews to podcasts, public speeches to docuseries, there's been a consistent effort to shape how she's perceived. That's not unusual, every public figure does it. But when the image and the actions don't line up, people notice. Megyn says she wants to be relatable, but she often corrects casual moments, reminds people of titles, and leans into curated storytelling.
Concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
What?
And that's what makes this backlash different. It's not coming from tabloids, it's coming from audiences who wanted to connect, but now feel pushed away. Because if every show, podcast, or brand launch feels like it's been filtered for perfection, eventually the audience starts to wonder, who's the real person behind all this? So here's the wild part. Despite everything, the backlash, the low ratings, the parodies, with Love, Megyn is reportedly getting a second season. Yes, you heard that right. Most people assumed the show would quietly disappear after the response it got. Instead, behind the scenes, Netflix seems to be doubling down. Why? Well, there are a few theories floating around. Some insiders claim Netflix already invested heavily in production. Sets, filming, branded items, and shelving the show entirely would have been a major loss.
She needs us to love her, so she will do whatever it takes, and she doesn't.
Others say it's a strategic gamble. The controversy, they argue, may actually be driving interest. People are tuning in now just to see what all the fuss is about. But there's another theory, one that's more concerning. Some believe the second season isn't a celebration. It's a form of damage control, that executives are hoping to reshape Megyn's image through carefully selected footage, softer edits, and maybe a more grounded tone. A rebrand within a rebrand. If that's true, then this isn't just about jam jars and table settings anymore. It's about reputation rescue on a massive scale. And here's why that matters. Right now, Meghan Markle sits at a crossroads, not just as a public figure, but as a brand. Her story once inspired millions, a modern woman navigating love, motherhood, and royal life, all while staying true to herself. That story connected. It was relatable. It felt real. But as more projects roll out, from Spotify podcasts that end abruptly, to lifestyle brands with unclear messaging, to shows that feel more promotional than personal, that story has started to lose its shape.
I knew that I wanted to put something in the world, and for years, I mean, we've been out here for 5 years.
It's not that audiences turned on her overnight, it's that they got confused. And when a public figure's message feels inconsistent, or worse, calculated, trust begins to crack. Season 2 is now more than just a follow-up. It's a test. Can Megyn listen to the feedback? Can she shift the tone, drop the filters, and offer something that feels honest? Or will she double down on the high-gloss, hyper-curated vibe that's drawing so much criticism? And let's not forget, Netflix is watching closely too. Remember, this isn't just about views. It's about influence, brand power, and long-term viability. If season 2 flops like the first one, it won't just hurt viewership. It could affect Megyn's future media deals, product launches, and partnerships. Companies don't just invest in talent, they invest in trust. And right now, that trust is on thin ice.
To be made, and like, what can our offering be at this point that is larger than what's sold out?
Then there's the bigger picture question that this whole story is forcing us to ask. What does authenticity actually look like in 2025? We live in an age where everyone's sharing their lives online. But over time, people have gotten really good at spotting what's real and what's been rehearsed. The lines are blurry, but the instincts are sharp. That's why creators who lean into vulnerability, imperfection, and honesty are thriving. They build communities, not just audiences. And those communities stick around, even when things go wrong. This is the opportunity sitting in front of Megyn right now. Not to try and fix everything with another layer of polish, but to step out of the frame, to drop the script, to stop selling and start sharing. Because if she can do that, even in small, quiet ways, she could flip the narrative entirely. People are willing to forgive a misstep, but they have to believe they're seeing the real person behind the brand. Let's talk in the comments. I want to know what you think. And if you want more deep dives like this, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and don't forget to turn on notifications. We're just getting started.